Okay, recorded in progress. All right, we're glad to be here. Not March the 24th, 2022. It's time for us to begin our class. Go back to exercise 38 on the book. That's lesson number 5. And I want to show you what I do in reference to when I translate in my interlinear. I could show you this, but this is what an interlinear does. If you'll notice here it says, "Hey ecclesiae martyriae, te aletheia." The church is bearing witness or is testifying to, with, or in the truth. Now, I don't do this every time when I'm doing a verse, because I look at the context to see which one's it going to be, or what word is going to fit here better. Is the church bearing witness or is it testifying? Most time we would say it's bearing witness. Over here also, since this is the dative, the instrumental, and the locative, to, within, that's the 3 words that we use, of and from, for genitive and ablative. That helps us with that. And this here helps us with dative, locative, and instrumental. I mean, dative, locative, an instrument, no, dative, instrumental, and locative. To, within. So I put all of those there, but we would come out and get a smooth translation. The church testifies with the truth, or you could say in the truth if you wanted to. But the church testifies to the truth. It all sounds right, but maybe the context could be with, or whatever. The context will help with that, because of in the lexicon, you're going to get every time you look this up, you notice what it says there. This is a noun. That N stands for a noun. That's dative, instrumental, and locative. It's singular and it's feminine. But in the interlinear and in the lexicon, when you look it up, it's going to say it's a name. It's NDSF every time. It's not going to have this other, because we're using the 8 case study. And most of the Greek works, I'd say 99% of them are on the 5 case. Okay, so we're getting more specific in what we're studying, because we want to get down to in reference to the genitive and the agency, which is the ablative, and hear about all those things about cases that it tells us in chapter 2, tells us about the cases. So this is what I do. The church, it's nominative, and it's well, first of all, it's a noun, part of speech. Then the case, it's a nominative, and then it's singular, because I look at the ending, it's singular, and it's feminine. Now, you would also, this article here, it would be its article, so you'd have an ANSF right here if you were going to do the whole thing. Now, when I was in graduate school, we translated, we had to put the whole thing down, but just like we're doing here, we're just wanting you to see that this is the way we identify it. The word here, martyriae, is bearing witness, is a verb, that's part of speech, present, active, indicative, third singular. Now, present, active, indicative mean that it's an ongoing, so it had a starting place. If you said, "I've never heard about the greater being, I don't know what his name is," and I said, if his name is Jehovah, then that if you start believing that his name is Jehovah, it started right then and it continues. And so, but it's third person singular, we would simply say the church, she. Now, some people would say it, but it's she, because we would say feminine, but it's it, because again, we don't go with that of the reference to gender, but every time we find something in the infinitive, we'll say she. And so bearing witness. So that's so this is the way I do mine. That way I can translate. Now watch, when I go all the way down, and we get to the hard ones. Now y'all can all ask Desiree, because she translates these just like I do, and these is the hardest part, where you translate English back to Greek, because you have to make sure, like here, we speak, it's la, le, lumen. Now you have to know that it's verb. You have to know that it's, we speak, present, active, indicative. It's what we're doing, but what is it? Well, it's the first person plural. How do I know that? Because of omen there. Omen is the first person plural of laleo. Now, also we do in translation, we always put the root verb down here also, but we're not doing that here. La Leo, we put that, but we're not going to do that here. And notice that we would say here, because we're giving a literal translation. When we're translating, we give a literal translation, then we give a smooth translation. And so you say, that's M-I-C-U-C, they hate. See? And then you go here, philete, you, that's plural, like. Now notice, because in the book, he tells us it's plural. So that's why we put eti on the end of it, because he tells us it's plural. Now, if he didn't put it up there, then we're most likely put the word there, ace. And you wouldn't be wrong because, you know, you haven't come across it, but the context would have bared out. If it had said there, you is, and he uses the word estin, you is, verb, then you know it's singular. Then, but if you used the other word for a plural there, you are, then you know that it is a plural. Any question on that? All the way across, all these are present, active, indicative. And he does this to give you a reference to the sense of how that you translate. And so if you do this, and this is the way I learn mine. It's verb, present, active, indicative. I think in the book it's verb, present, indicative, active. You think it's the way you want to. This is the way my logos is set up, and therefore this is the way I use it. Is that somebody else popped in? No. Okay. And so here, number 2, we are walking in peace and testify to the truth. Now, notice again, we are walking in peace. Notice the word "and" here. We're walking in peace, okay, and testifying to the truth. Now, you notice here, when you go back, we are walking and then we're testifying, and they're the same ending. That is, we are walking and we are testifying, but we don't put that out here. We are walking in peace because of the word "and." Now, that's going to change when we're talking about nouns in a few moments. And testify to the truth. And then drop down all the way down here. Notice he tells us it's dative, so we know it has the iota up under the alpha at the very end. So notice what I put there. It's nominative. I'm sorry, it's a noun, dative, singular, feminine. Why did I put dative there? Because he tells me it's a dative. But now, if he didn't tell me that, I would put it's either a dative, as we did early. Is it a David slash locative slash instrumental slash locative? Because I don't know in the context. And if you're going to be translating from the English to the Greek, then you need to know that there's 3 choices there, just like with the genitive ablative. It's got with that of and from, if it's there in reference to a noun, that you have 2 ways that can be translated. So you put it there, then when you read the context, then you would be able to know which one to use. Any question on that, on the way that I did that? I think Desiree, since you're, like I said, you're the one that has done this, I sent this to you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then we got down to lesson 7. This is the clenching of what we call the alpha stem. It's concluded. This is masculines, and I think, and I'm not picking on Desiree because she's the only one that gives me homework to look at. And she, like I'm the same way. If you go up here and look, when I saw the A on a lot of words, I automatically think what?
Or singular. I mean, feminine.
Feminine, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because here you have Eta Sigma, Alpha Sigma, and if they're there, those are masculine words. And when you look at them, it's easy to understand them when they put the definite article with it, because it's the masculine definite article. It's very easy that way. But if it doesn't put the article with it, something most of the time, and even in mine, when I translated mine, and because there's no key to this book, the fellow has never finished the key, and so we have to do it ourselves. And so, and I think maybe you missed a couple of those, I think, like that, because you got them mixed up like I did. I mean, I do the same thing, so I'm not picking on you. Okay?
Yeah.
So here he says, he gives Matthew 10:24. He says, "U estin." Now, estin is Greek verb for is, okay? Methetes, hupar, didaskalon, okay? A disciple, now they notice he's going to call it, it's a disciple. There's no a there. There's no indefinite article, but this is a sentence. A disciple is, notice here's the word not, not above hooper, a teacher, Matthew 10:24. And so to make it a smooth, he incorporated, or he put in the sentence, a disciple and a teacher, so that we could understand what it was. Well, when he got to hooper there, he'd have to look how that it's used. You and I would do the very same thing, unless we knew that hooper meant, like the word ace, we know it means for, into, unto, toward, and so forth. So we wouldn't look it up. We would know how to use it to make it sound right. But we'd have to look up hooper because it's used in different, with different cases. And that's the reason why that when we studied about the prepositions, is the reason why we wanted to try to memorize those is because they help us. It's like the definite article. If a definite article is with, no matter what stem it's with, whether it's feminine or masculine, because that helps us to understand that whether it's feminine, masculine, or neuter. And then the prepositions, sometimes they help us with the case, like here. Hooper is found in the genitive, in the accusative case. Now, what's on the end of that word? See that end of that word? Didaskalo, that end, that is the accusative ending. A disciple is not above who? Teacher. That's a direct object. Now, I would not have known a direct object until I took Greek. I didn't know that in English. I do now. Okay. So here's the 5 stems that we've talked about. And the first 3, all these 3 here, they're now notice this, the first one is in the eta, the first one in the masculine is eta sigma. Okay. Just because you see an eta there does not mean that it's feminine, if it's, because there are eta sigma nouns and they're masculine. And then you have stems in the alpha preceded by the epsilon, the iota, and the rho, like hey Mara. And what I did is that I go back and look at these. That's one reason why they're given here, is because these are the ones they've used in the book to decline. And so you go back and look how they're used. And what I used to do when I did Greek is that I had I call it a cheat sheet. I had a sheet that had the articles on it. Then I had a sheet that had a word like hey Mara worked all the way through, singular and plural, and all the declensions for each one of each 5 of these. And that I would just look at the ending, that would help me. And then also we would come up on that of pronouns. And so I had the same way with pronouns. And I just, because we translated from the scriptures in graduate school, and we could use anything we had, but they wanted us to be able to do that, and that's what we did. And then you have the stem number 3, alpha, but it's preceded by any other letter except for epsilon, iota, and rho, like the word glossa. And notice this, if you memorize these words like phone, phones, hey, it's feminine. Hey Mara, hey Maras, hey, it's feminine. Glossa, glosses, hey, it's feminine. Because that's what it's telling you. This is the glossa, hey, glosses is the genitive. And so that shows you, helps you to see that that's feminine. Now, when you get down to the stems in the eta sigma, methetes, ooh is a masculine ending. Ho, so disciple. And then, I'm sorry.
I got lost again on what a stem is. The stem is that those 2 letters that are letter that precedes the down.
Yeah, like
It's not attached to the word.
Yeah, it's like phone right there, not the end. That eta at the end of phone, right there, phone. If you're going to just use the stem,
Oh, phone, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the eta is not on there. In other words, if they show you the stem, they're going to most time in the book they show you the ending. So here's the endings. Look, the endings for this word is hey. Is eta there?
Well,
On phone A, the ending is heta.
Phone.
Yeah.
The ending is eta.
Eta. Then right here, Hamer,
So it's added to the stem, phone.
yeah, phone. If, P,
And
Phi-
so there's-
phi
you could-
omega-
You could add 3 of those stems onto, PHON on the phone.
yeah, you'd have PHO, you'd have phone there.
Phonase, and then another phone, but with an accent over it or something.
Yeah. It's according, if you're gonna look at the accents and everything, then we'd have to turn back to the book. But like, let's, if we, look right here. Well, no, that doesn't, oh, right here. Right, when you look here on Maythate, right here, Maythate, Maythate, that S, sigma, 2, omega, tone, ace, all those are endings. The rest of it back this way, the ma, thay, hey, ma, thay,
Oh, you're down at 41.
yeah. The stem, and then you have the endings, like the endings of the endings on these, like right here on my thetes. These are the endings for
But they're calling these alpha stems, but the stems don't end.
but Ada is A. Ada. I mean, you know, we pronounce it
They
A.
pronounce it
A, yeah.
but it looks
Yeah.
like an E.
Yeah, but so you go all the way back to phonase A, it's just an Ada. And then you get the alpha, but then you have the Ada sigma, but you have the second word there, it's Maythate 2, showing you that it's masculine.
But they call these the alpha stems,
Yes.
but there's no alpha anywhere.
Well, we call them alpha stems. They're A stems. In other words, got the word A. In other words, it can have the word alpha or Ada on it. That's the idea.
But alpha is not an Ada.
And Ada is not alpha. But that's what they call them because
So they call them-
because we
they
pronounce
call
it
them
A,
alpha stem because it sounds like
an A.
A.
Yes,
Okay.
and then just like we go down. I don't have it right. Well, we go back to go back.
Yeah, I was looking for that alpha somewhere that you attach the stem to something that ended in alpha, but that's not the case.
No. Well, there might be later on. Yeah, the alpha signal become a note, so it's right down here. Quit.
Back in lesson 3, we had this thing about the stems of the first declension is called.
Yeah.
And these letters, like the Ada, they were all put on the front of the words.
What page you on?
This is the first page of lesson.
What's the number? What the side?
The desk number to the side of it.
Okay, go back, y'all, on your thing. Lesson number 3. You tell me when I get there.
Okay, there you go.
That's vocabulary.
21.
Okay, that's what.
22.
22.
Okay,
Okay.
so see,
The first, those are the different articles. The first thing. All those are different articles. You know what it says? The declension of A nouns with the articles as follows. And since these are the phenomenon nouns, phenomenon articles. Right here.
but the articles are the first letter of this.
No, that's a different word. Articles are a different word altogether. All he's doing here is showing you that if you wanted to use the word day, the day, you'd say, hey, Marah. If you just want to say day, you'd say, hey, Marah. That's 2 words, just like we would think son of God.
Oh, Amorah, okay, because those, back in lesson 3, these things we were learning were articles.
Yes, we were learning the articles and how they go with. So you look at, this is the feminine articles right here.
Oh,
But
okay.
notice over here, you got alpha, alpha sigma, alpha, nu. At the
Okay,
ending, that's the stem. I mean, that's the endings. The stem is the same all the way down.
Yeah, so the stem's down, and all the articles are alphas, or not all alphas. You have an AN down there.
The endings.
Accusative. The endings.
Your endings, yeah.
So you have the article, a stem, and an ending.
Yeah.
That's the order, article, stem, ending.
And then we pointed out when we were studying this, that you have genitive, ablative. If you didn't have the article out here, it'd say, hey, Maurice, both of them. Then you jump down here, plural, over there in the plural, jump down to the accusative, it's hey, Maurice also.
Yeah.
But if it had the definite article there, you would know it's plural.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But now you're going to find out that there are times where it didn't have that, and therefore you have to look at the context. Is he talking about day or days? And you got to do that with some other words too. So I mean, we keep talking a lot about the context, because the context is very, very important when you don't have prepositions or definite articles with nouns.
So back in lesson 3, we were focusing on the articles.
Well, no, we were focused, if we go all the way back down to where we are in chapter 6, or lesson 6.
We're not focusing on the articles anymore. We're focusing on.
Well, because we're supposed to learn them back in 3.
Now we're focusing on.
Yeah, well, no, it's still the same. We did the eta stem back there with the feminine articles. We did the alpha stem back there with the articles, but we made sure we made a distinction between those that ended in epsilon, iota, and rho. See, you notice here that they're the endings here. This is the ending case. Hey, Maurice, but over here, it would be Tate, the definite article, because it's feminine. But then when you get down here, the same is true here. It's feminine. See, haste, it's there. Over here, it's taste. And so over here, though, it would be Mathete is going to be your noun, nominative. Mathete two is going to be your genitive. But over here, your definite article is going to be two. And your definite article for Mathete is ho. It's, I think it's not either. No, it's like, there you go. There's the declension there. See, Cretes, see there, it's masculine. It's the judge. It's masculine. And so the definite article is ho. Just like it is with any noun that's masculine. But here you find that the end of the word is ace. It's an ace noun. You have to remember that. Just because you see that ace on there, that doesn't mean it's genitive. Okay, there are words that are masculine with ace on there. There are words that are masculine that has a on there, as we said up here. Ace, neos, nuu, ho, use. That's the reason why you say all of that word there in the parentheses when you're trying to memorize them. And then if you were, say for instance, if you were looking back and you say, okay, I got this word nease, I go back and look, I think that's a feminine. Well, you go back and when you look at the word that's in the book, you look at the word and you say oh no, that's a masculine. Because why? Because that right there, that ooh. So you look in the book, and not only you look at the book, but when you look it up in the lexicon, you're going to have this word, and you're going to have those two letters after it, ooh and ho. All right, and same up here. Like up here, you're going to have haste and hay. Over here, and the ones that precede by epsilon, iota, and rho, you're going to have os and a. And then here, you're going to have ace and a. Hey. So you have to memorize all of these. That's the reason why I see we talk about 5 different things in the first declension, and we're going to leave the first declension in some the next lesson, and we're going to go into the second declension, and it gets even more so in reference to it. That's the reason why, again, if we go through all of them, if we're going to extend, and we're going to offer Greek too, if we have students to take it, then what we're going to do is we're going to go each lesson. We're going to go through each lesson. And then when we come back to next week, we'll go through the exercises, and then we'll start the next lesson. And the reason why we'll do that is because you say, well, that's kind of hurrying it up. Well, you're getting a taste of it, I guess what we would say. And a way you say, oh, well, I remember that in my book that we were studying Greek, that we were talking about the perfect tense. And you say, I'll go over and refresh. See, that's the way I do it in reference to participles, because participles gave me a hard time. So when I find a participle and I'm trying to translate it and everything, see in the context, then what I do, I go back and read my Greek grammar. And I have plenty of them. I have a number of them. About 3 foot of them on my desk. So I spent some time in trying to do that, but I'm 74 years old. I can't remember those things anymore. I mean, I try, but it's just hard. And so I'm letting my instructor know that it's just gotten too hard for me to try to remember all this stuff because I just can't remember it. Now, when I start doing it and everybody leaves me alone, I can do pretty good, especially in the second declension, because we learned the second declension first in graduate school or in Memphis School of Preaching, I think that was. Okay, you see that. And again, this is always true. In the genitive, it's of, in the ablative, it's from, in the dative, it's to, in the instrumental, it's with, and in the locative, it's in. In other words, every time you have those definite articles there, whatever it may be, that's the first word you're going to put. You're going to say of thee, or from thee, or to thee, or with thee, and then in thee, and then translate your word, whatever the word may be. Now, since you're going to look in the lexicon is going to say dative for every one of them, so you're going to have to look at the context to make sure that they are in the dative or in the locative or in the instrumental. And not only that, but if it has a preposition, it may help you, but you may have a preposition that's also in the genitive and also in the ablative. And so you still have to sometimes let the context see. Is it coming out of, or is it of? Or is it coming out from, or is it of? See, you have to make that decision. So now here is the translation for that, and we've already, I'll go back. When we look at this here, the number 6. It's when we look at them. So we're looking at this, and so we're looking at these nouns now that ends with what we would simply think is a feminine ending, but it's not. It is a masculine ending, and the second word in the lexicon will tell us every time, like we said before, when you look at the vocabulary, you'll notice there here go this hey days, hey do. That tells us right then that is a masculine word. Okay, all the way down here. Then you get down here to key pheles, hey, that's feminine. I mean, I'm sorry, and that's not feminine. That is masculine also because it has for its genitive and ablative os on the end of it. K, phe, las. You see that? Hey. And what that hey there means is you're going to use the feminine article. All right, go back. Let me see. Here you go. Not feminine article, the you notice, let me go back down to Eve over here. Right here. See here, all of these, we got oo on the end of it. So our example up here that is made, ho may they taste, to may they taste, to may they to, I'm sorry, ho may they taste, to may they to may they to, ton may they ton, then vocative may they taste. And you notice the vocative and the nominative are the same. And on the plural, hoi, may they te, genitive ablative, tone, may they tone, dative, instrumental, and locative is tois, may they taste. Notice that now, may they taste. Notice the difference in the two? And so then in the tus, may they taste. And in that of the word nias, you notice the difference. There's a difference over here because of the way that this is spelled. We go back down here again. Here we see what he points out to us there in reference to this word nias, nu ho. So he begins, even though it's got an as on the end of it, as a masculine noun. He goes to ni a. Let's see, ni a nu, to ni a nia. See that? Then tone, nie, nie. And then you can see over here again, the plural, how that it takes the whole, tone, toys, 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 and then it has the twos on the end. But look at the endings up through there. You see, in the phenomen, it has, all right, if we were to say this, ni, ni, tas, you have a tau in there. But see, we don't have a tau because it is a noun. It is a masculine noun. This over here would be tas, but if it was feminine, but it's tas. That definite article is telling you right there, it's tas. Tas, that it is a masculine. And right there, it's masculine. And these over here doing the same thing, toe, because over in the feminine, it's tay. And I don't think I could actually tell you to maybe make you a cheat sheet and do about like one of these right here, so it helps you to understand the endings or use your book. You know, sometimes like in on my computer, sometimes I highlight the endings so I can find them quicker. So nouns in the taste are mostly agent nouns built from verbs of action and signify, let me get over there. Signify the one who does the action denoted by the verb rule. Compare crenon, I judge, and cretes, a judge. So you have a verb there, I judge. Then you have the noun, cretes. A judge, we would simply say this, cretes, nies, the judge, he judges. No, get that wrong. You what? Be cry, it's a cretes, a judge, cry. I don't know what it, cry. That is a judge, he judges. Because it'd be present, active, indicative, third person singular right there. We could make that, put epsilon eod on it, end of it, and that's what we'd make that. And then we could put over here, like it said, notice it's taste. So if it's going to be taste, then we would go over here. Where's that? We would say ho. We wouldn't say hey. We'd say ho, Christe, create. The judge is judging. That would be a sentence because you put it all together. But you have, notice what he says now. Tastes are mostly, nouns in taste are mostly agent nouns built from verbs. So when you look at that, you say, well, that looks like a verb because you've already learned this word. Yeah. No, I learned. Maybe they taste, a learner or a disciple. Baptids, I baptize, and baptids taste, Baptist, one who baptizes. So you have verbs and nouns that are translated basically the same word in it. So then it says here, compare Robertson's Historical Grammar, page 153. That book is about three inches thick. Okay, you got thousands of pages in it. So any question on that? Again, it's something that we have to learn. And the best way to do it is to do the exercise. And especially when you translate the English to the Greek, you learn more and more. Don't get discouraged when you miss it because you go back and say, oh, I thought that was genitive. And so because you put a sigma on the end of the taste instead of a new on it to make it accusative because it's easy to do that. I caught myself, I typed up one time there, tau, Omicron new, and then out the side of it, I put upsilon. And I come back, I said, what am I trying to tell myself? Well, what I was trying to tell myself, are you sure this is supposed to be in the accusative, that is the noun, And so I sat there and looked at it and I said, well, I asked that question, like you ask the question, who or which or something like that, and it answers it. The judge, as we would say, the judge, and the judge would be accusative. And so because the accusative is a direct object. And so you would understand that as you would go through and looking at the word with the wording of it and trying to make the translation right. And so I do that when I'm trying to make the translation. I try to make the translation, and I say, well, the way the sentence looks is like that is that like of the Son of God, or is that the Son? You know, and so you look at them. Okay, apostello, apostello, I send out. Now, apostello and apangelo, don't get those mixed up, because it says I announce, I report. This is something that was being done. Apostello, apostolos, remember, is the apostles, one who is sent. Right here is what one does. I send out. You send out. He sends out. We send out. And you all send out. And then at the very end there, they sent out. So, any question on that? Now, hey days, hey do, hey days, hey do, ho. That's the word Hades. And that is the place where our soul goes when we die. And it stays there until the day of judgment. And we are judged, and we either go to heaven or go to hell. Okay?
And so, what is the O-N-O after Hades?
Okay. Hades. So he's got the Eta Sigma. So when I looked at that, I would say, oh, that's feminine. No, because we learned in the lexicon that it gives us these two. Hey days, hey do, and ho is masculine.
I mean, what are those? What is the?
What is what?
The OU and then the O after Hades.
Okay. Hey days is the nominative. Hey do is the genitive ablative. Ho is the definite article, showing it's masculine. Those last two sets of words tells you that's masculine. Who and
those are just printed out after the word.
that's the way the
They're
lexicon.
not attached.
They would be. They would be if you were declining that word. You'd say a. Let's see okay. That's a nominative. And if you was going to do the genitive / the adjective, you'd say.
You just put the other end on there. Yeah, so instead of giving you all 8.
Yeah, all 8 cases.
All cases, they don't only use 3 because they're repeated.
Okay, in the genitive of all the different stems and in the cases and so forth, in the genitive, it will tell you whether it's going to be male or female. Because when we look at the word here, hey days, that right there, that tells us, because there are nouns with Eta Sigma. But if you were just glance at that and you're reading, you glance at that and you say, well, that's got Eta in it, so it's got to be a feminine. That Sigma is telling you that's masculine. But this oo is telling you that it's masculine, because there's no genitive, ablative, oo, feminine. And the ho there is a masculine definite article. So it's giving you all kinds of all signs there to point out to you that that is a masculine noun.
But when I'm reading it in the text, I'm not going to have those extra information.
But you may have in front, and I know y'all can't see the marking board. That's why if you was in class, you could see my good artistic work. But we'd say ADs, hey days, like this here. You say, well, what is that? That was like feminine to me. Well, over here you'd have, if it has a definite article. If it has a definite article, it have ho. Now, if it was OU on the end of it, the definite article here would be 2. But then you'd have to figure out where it's genitive or ablative. But the context, if it had a po over here, then you know that it would be ablative. Those are ablative. Or if it had ace over here, you had ace over here like that, then this would be con, an even on the end of it. I'm sorry y'all can't see that. Even if I move my camera, I don't think y'all can see that. Y'all can't see that, can you?
Mm-mm.
All y'all see is GSOP, right?
Uh-huh.
So the alpha segment is the only part that goes in. That's the thing.
No, okay. Alpha delta is the stem.
Yeah.
The ending,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the ending
yeah.
is hey, ooh, all the way down, you know, twice and so forth, all the way down. And over here, you have the definite article. If we were to split it up like that, you know, sometimes we would understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ending is not part of the stem. The ending is a part of the word. That's the way what I do it. My marker is drying out because I left the top off. Okay, any question on that? Now, again, and when I was 23 years old, 23, let me see how old I was. I was 25, 26 years old when I took Greek. I take it back. I take it back. I was 24 when I started. And it was difficult because I was not a good English grammar person. I had to watch when I started preaching. My wife would give me a list. You know, the list was bigger than I. And she says, "You don't pronounce that word correctly." And like the word conscience, I used to say conscience, and she says, "That's not the way you say that." So, since I was going to preach right after I started preaching, I was going to use 1 Peter 3:21 to have a pure conscience. I'd say pure conscience. She says, "No, it's conscience." So I practiced conscience till I learned how to say it. And so that's what you do with this. It's a continuous thing. You just can't, like me, I took it in graduate school for 4 years. And then when I got out, I was tired of Greek. I was going to start back, but I never did because I got interested in doing personal work, teaching people in their homes and stuff like that. You know, when I got through, I got through. Then I want to go back and do my doctoral work, and I did. And so I had to do a little review on some Greek on some of the papers I had to do. But the thing of this is something that you go over and over and over. And if you use it, in other words, if you're teaching and you're actually, like Carrie was talking about earlier, going back and looking up words and finding the meaning of the words, by taking the class, you're going to find it's a whole lot easier to find what you're looking for. Because you know what you're looking for. You know, if you pick up a lexicon, you're going to have a word there, like Hades there, and it's going to have these on the end of it, every word. Whether, if it's a noun, it's going to have all this on it. Every one of them. And then in a lexicon, when you go to a lexicon with these verbs and everything, they'll have every one of them that's used in the New Testament, because apostello, ace, apostel, lay, and the other ones are for the plural. If they're not all used, not every word is used in every sense in the New Testament. So you may look up that word and there's just three, it may be one singular and two plurals in all the New Testament, but you had to memorize all of the endings. See, so when you look at them, you say, well, I know that's singular because of the meaning of the letters or the ending of them. Now I know it's plural because of the ending. But if that word is used in every sense, the first, second, and third person, singular and plural, and if it's used in the passive and middle and areas, first areas, second areas, pluperfect, perfect, imperfect, it's going to be listed in that lexicon. All you have to do is locate, all you have to do is make sure you get the right stem. And then the ending is going to tell you all about that word, what it is. That ending is. That's the reason why it's so important. Now, we're not going to get over to the other endings. And so Bobby Gayton didn't plug up. I miss Jim. Jim, you weren't here. You weren't here, Brother Richard, and I didn't plug up the electricity. So now we got electricity, okay? So when you look at that, you would see that all the way through in lexicon, okay? Then in the exercises, oh, no, I didn't go through all these. So we go like the word baptizes, baptizo ho, that's Baptist, baptizer, one who baptizes. Now we look at it, well, that's a noun. Well, we know the word baptizo. Baptizo is a verb, okay? We know that. Then you have proper nouns. Now, what I do when I'm doing my exercises, I don't put no P. Sometimes people put P in there for a proper noun. I don't. I just put down a noun. I know it's a proper noun because his name's John, you know. So it's eo or ho. So a lot of people say they use that eola. Ho-anes, ho-ano, ha. That means John. Now, we're going to look at the word later, Herod, and he had a wife. And so Herod, it would be masculine, and the word for his wife is feminine. Now, again, that's grammar. We're not talking about because they're male and female, but they are male, their names. Proper names will show, you know, whether they're male and female, it would seem. Okay, so then you have case, creep to, ho, judge. Now that's the word for judge. He's a judge. That's a noun. Then you have head here, kephale, ace, hey, head. Now, when I look at that, I would just simply say, what? Oh, that looks just like a feminine noun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. Your head is masculine. Okay. Then you have krateo. Now again, that's a verb. I cease. That's a present active indicative. Mathetes, ho. That's disciple. Jesus says, "Go into all the world and make disciples, learners." So Matthew 28, verse 18. So mathetes, then ho. Then you have young man or youth, neos, niu, ho, young man or youth. Then you have polites, politu, ho, citizen. Now again, if you didn't have these two, who and ho there, then you would think that would be feminine. And not only that, because you're talking about citizens, and most time we would think about like the word ecclesia. You know, look at ecclesia, we'd say, well, that's feminine. So why is it not citizen feminine? It's just the word that they used, and this is the word they use. And so, you know, that. Then you have the word prophetes, prophetu, prophet. Now there is a prophetess word, okay? There are some feminine words that would mean that. So, but this one here, because of the ho, it is a male prophet. Sophia's, hey, wisdom. Ho, soldier. Now, not every soldier is, as we would say, I mean, still making the point, is not a male or female. There, I mean, in Greek, it's masculine. Okay. Then you have Stace, Stu, who, liar. Pseudo, you know, that's a false. So then you have T-lo-nace, T-lo-u, who, tax collector or public. Now, a lot of people like that because they like to put re in front of that, Republican, but that's not the word. Okay. All right. Okay, Desiree, you can get your homework out and we'll see how we did.
Okay.
I've already fixed it for you. Okay. You gonna try to read for us this week, Carrie?
No.
You ain't gonna try? Okay, just be Desiree and I. So I would say, Iones ho baptizes estin prophetes. Now, notice that little 1 and little 4 up there. So we want to go down here. Number 1, that's a proper noun. Number 4, he's telling us what esti is. He is. It's like that word See that you see on the end here is 10, and we have on the present active indicative, we have a, you know, a gay, ea, ei on the end of it when it's he. Okay, but you notice there, that's what that is, and we'll study this word. It's from the word ame. We'll study it in lesson 13 in year 2, in the Greek elementary too. The very important word because it is used a lot. Okay, so it's telling us that. So now it's helped me. So I would say, since this is a noun, nominative, singular, masculine, it's John. Since John is that, ho baptizes is the same. John the immerser. That's used as his same name. Now that's not his name really. The immerser is what he did. Okay. Est is a verb, present, indicative, third person. Notice we didn't put active, did we? Notice that we didn't put an active there. Didn't put passive there, and we didn't put middle there. That's how you have to identify this verb. A may verb. So you identify like that. Then prophet, since this is John the Immerser, is what? It's a direct object, so it's nominative, accusative. Oh, that's not plural. That's singular. Oh. There you go. How did I mark that on yours, sir? Desiree?
I didn't, but I got singular on mine.
Okay, you made it a singular word.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I did too, but I was giving my form up. I want them to be right, because if I teach this class again, I don't want to have to go over them things over and over again, trying to learn. All right, Desiree, take number 2.
Deske, Peri, Taste, Basilias.
Yes. Okay, I got good news for all of you. I talked to my instructor the other night. He went down a whole list. I think it's a list in lesson number 9, and it's got a lot of omegas in it. And and omicrons, theos, and he used both. And he told me, I said, well, wait just a minute. I said, my class, we always trying to correct me, because we went down the list of the alphabet and we said, this is the way he pronounced those. And I said, I've been trying to reteach myself, because I've learned about what he was learning, was learning. And he says, well, as long as you're consistent. So if you wanted to use the omicron, make it long, it's up to you. Like Tommy was saying, I think that's what his professor was trying to get across. You have to make sure you're consistent though. If you're going to say theos, don't next time say theos, say theos. And baptizo, and so forth. And so like this word here is didaske. That's kind of like an A, ske, pari. See, and remember now, we've already found that this iota is what? Short and long, right? So if you're going to say pi, make sure you say it that way all the time. That's what he's getting across to me. All right, so you translated it.
I put he teaches concerning the kingdom.
Okay, that's right, because that's what I got. Okay, now notice this. Ho rhodes, ho tra race. Wait, no, I got that wrong. Hey rhodes, ho t. I still got it wrong. Ho rhodes, ho t. Ho rar case, something like that. I can't say that word. Let me go down here. How would I say that? It's the tetrarch. It's tetrarch is the way you translate. Tetrarchs. Okay, then K Rata, Tone, T O Oane, Dia, Ho Diada. Okay. Herod the tetrarch seizes John on account of Herodia. That should be Herodias. Okay. No, Herodia because it's accusative. No, Herodias. Herodias in the English. Herodias. Sir.
When you have those letters, NASM, you said what that's nominative, active, singular, masculine?
That's nominative, John here, accusative. That's the case.
Accusative.
Yeah, nouns have cases.
Yeah, okay, so that's the accusative.
Yeah. Someone look up Herodias and see if I spelled that
So
right.
what was the first one? The N.
Noun.
Oh, it's a noun.
Yeah, part of speech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part of speech is always first.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Nominative case, number, and then masculine, feminine, and neuter. Okay, I got you.
Okay, it's Herodias. I got it spelled there right now. That's the way that word be right there. Herodias. Okay, because it's feminine.
So are you doing those abbreviations to help us, or that's the way they are in lexicons?
No, they're not that way in lexicon. Now they're that way in lexicons, but most likely when you look up, say for instance, you're going to look up, let's say crate. When you look it up, it's going to say verb, present, active, indicative, first person, singular. But it's going to say like verb, V-E-R-B, P-R-E-S, A-C-T, I-N-D, then it'll have second, then S-I-N-G.
Yeah, they're gonna try to tell us.
Yeah. In the lexicon, they tell you all
All
of this.
that. Yeah.
All of this. That's the reason why I thought it helps me when I try to translate them also. When you try to translate, when you're sitting there trying to translate from English down to that, this helps because you look at that word, you look at the words up here, how that it's fixed, especially right down here, text number 3, I'm on down number 3, that we ask, see, we ask for the head of John the Baptist, the baptizer. So we ask, well, we ask is a verb, therefore we is first person plural. So you know that. Notice I don't have them down here. I have them down here on the updated one, but it hasn't downloaded. All right, changed it when it uploaded. Because I had all of those down to that. Probably Desiree has it on hers. We're going to translate number 3. Do you have those marked? Number 3?
I put Herod the Tetrarch seizes.
Now go down to part 3. Translate from English to Greek. I have the markings down there. I have like verb, present, active, indicative, first person plural.
I don't have it with me.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I just have, because I'm not at work.
Well, see, I had all this done and it's not here.
Oh,
All that was done. Because I spent all day doing that and this one here too, and I bet it's not there either. Yeah, it is. It's there. Okay, going back up there. Well, let's take a break. Let's see here. Lesson 7. What did I get? Let's take a break.
okay.